Today is the day that we talk about the Divine Mother. When you connect to the Divine Mother, you will be protected always. You will always have money. You'll be safe. I already said that. You will be rich in ideas. You will learn to speak easily with people, to get over anxiety, and so much more. And the reasons why I'm gonna get into this video, and also the importance of recognizing and honoring the Divine Mother, which I feel like is something that society has lost connection with for many reasons that I'm about to get into now. First disclaimer, there might be times when I stop or pause or I run, or because I'm wearing a yellow dress, if you can see, and the bees think I am a flower. And it doesn't help that I have flower patterns on here too. Anyway, so what is the Divine Mother anyway? Listen, from my experiences when I had my spiritual awakening, I realized that there is a mother and a father aspect to a higher power, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. The reason why I realized this, actually I didn't just realize this, they actually introduced themselves to me. Okay, they gave me certain names, but I'm not going to get into that right now because I don't feel like having no debates with no people. But it was a Divine Mother and the Divine Father. The aspects of the father is one thing, but that's not what this video is about. We're focused on the mama today. I call her Ma. J Ma. For anyone who doesn't know, if you're new here, I'm a Hindu. I am Hindu not by birth, not by persuasion, but literally by the spiritual awakening process that I went through. I was introduced to Hindu deities as the people who are guiding my soul towards enlightenment and a better life path. Actually, that kind of just gives away what I mentioned earlier. A little bit, not really actually. So, I didn't choose Hinduism. Hinduism chose me. Okay? So let's make that clear. And I don't know how popular this video is going to get, but just in case, I just want to say to any Christians or Muslims, I really don't care about what you think about that. So if you say anything about it, just know it's going to go in, like anything negative, just know it's going in one ear out the other. Okay? So now that we got that clear, in Hinduism, what is very special about Hinduism, and especially when you compare it to the top religions of the world, which is Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism, out of all of those, they all have one thing in common. That is a major aspect of the religion or practice, and that is that the divine person of focus is only exclusive to being a male, a man, the male fatherly figure, whatever. Where Hinduism is different is that their focus is not just on the divine masculine, but also the divine feminine. There's heavy focus on that. As a matter of fact, they have whole holidays, major holidays, specifically catered towards the respecting the Divine Mother. Diwali is one of them, if I'm not mistaken, and it happens around Christmas time, but I think it's either before or after Christmas, and it's where most people celebrate Lakshmi Mata, but in general, the manifestations of Durga Ma is the head. Well, actually, I can't say the head because she has many names and many forms. But she is basically the personification that's most popularly referred to when addressing Shakti. Shakti is the divine masculine energy. It is said to be the energy and the power of everything that is of existence. Last week, I touched on very, very minorly that Lord Shiva's name is derived from the importance of the divine feminine. Because without that divine feminine, see, in Sanskrit, where it represents a feminine, it's actually a gender-based language. And there's a neutral gender, so it's not like Spanish. Well, there is a neutral gender in Spanish, but it's not the same as it is in Hinduism. There's truly a neutral gender or bigender. So there's the masculine, which is a, the feminine is a e or e, and the multi-gendered or neutral gender is e. So Shiva has the shi in there, but without the I, he's Shva. And Shva in Sanskrit means corpse. It's dead, it's death. But with Shiva, it's powerful. His name becomes powerful because of the Shakti. There's actually a term called Ardharandweshwari. I'm probably saying it all jacked up. For some reason, I have a hard time remembering this name, but I'm going to put it on the screen. Maybe I will, maybe I'll not. But look it up if not. And it means, it's basically the representation of both Shiva and Shakti together as one. They are separate but still also the same. And Shiva is known as one of the personifications of God, the ultimate reality, the Brahma. So let me get this clear for some of y'all who might not know much about Hinduism, because that is going to be part of my channel. I'm going to talk about it. Okay? And I feel like anyone could listen, whether you're Hindu or not. In Hinduism, it is not polytheistic the way people think. When most people think of polytheism, they think every god is different and separate, and it's just multiple gods, and there's no one god. Hinduism is not based on that. Hinduism is based on the idea of one ultimate reality, the ultimate truth, that is the Brahma, who is God. But because they believe that God is beyond, or Brahma is beyond what anyone can imagine, is beyond what we can fathom, they personify God into different characters of their personality. Some of the popular ones are Ganesh, Krishna, Vishnu, Shiva, Durga Ma, Kali Ma, okay, Lakshmi Mata, okay, and so many more. Hanuman, yeah. Now, the mother, Shakti. The divine mother has been prevalent in many different cultures and many different ways. But unfortunately, for some strange reason, she has been wiped out in the main religions. And I feel like because of that, we as a collective human beings, the human species, we have lost touch of giving respect to Ma. Last week I spoke about how Ma is this earth. So the divine planet that we live on is a physical manifestation of the mother. So is water. Fire and air is a physical manifestation of the Father. Okay? So, but we're talking about the earth. When you look at today's planet and how we treat it, we as human beings, we do not live in coexistence with the planet. We are actively, slowly destroying the planet just from our existence because we have lost touch of the mother. The top religions of the world, and I'm sorry, I'm not coming for y'all, but there is a obvious trend going. The top religions of the world, when they became popular, this is when we started to see the slow degradation of the planet. The ancient pagans, or whatever you want to call them, who followed paganism, they understood the divine mother in her physical representation of a planet. And so they live in cohesion, I think that's the right word, with the mother. They respected the mother. They didn't do things that would destroy her. They didn't create crappy things like plastic and stuff that doesn't biodegrade, and chopping down trees all the time, and all this toxic chemicals being dumped everywhere. And it's because they understood wholeheartedly. I'm about to take my shoes off, y'all. Y'all take your shoes off every once in a while when you're outside. They understood wholeheartedly the importance of respecting the divinity of the mother. Now that I've spoken a little bit about that, I want to get into my own personal relationship with Ma. So back a long time ago, I prayed, and I just want to tell you, the reason why I'm getting to this is because this is touching on why I realized Ma can help you with riches in life, with being safe, always protected, with language, with knowledge, divine knowledge that's beyond just superficial self-serving knowledge. Okay, so back when I first had my spiritual journey, this was when I was a fresh baby. I know Hinduism. The closest thing I was to it was I was a Buddhist. But like I said, Hinduism found me. And I had asked God to come to me, or I asked spirit guides. So those who were guiding my spirit, I gave him permission. It was a whole prayer. I gave him permission to come into my life. If you're in Ayana Street Therapy in the community, I want you to know that that is what inspired the very first thing that you'll start to do, is making that relationship with a higher power. And this was how I did that. So anyway, so I asked them to guide me. I asked them to help me, and they did. They said names to me. The first one I already knew because he was already showing up, and now I'm about to give it away. Whatever. I said earlier I wasn't, but now I am. Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva was the first name that I heard, and it was the first person. He was already showing up. As a matter of fact, he'd been showing up almost my entire life. I just didn't know it. It wasn't until I was actively becoming more conscious of my divine self that he started to show up more and more. I started to notice him, I should say. And then when I did some self-reflection, I was damn, he was there the whole time. So it was Lord Shiva, and Ma came to me with the name Isis. Actually, she started out saying Selena, but then now she goes mostly by Isis. She still goes by Isis, although she has many different names, because she wants me to understand more about the ancient Egyptian practices in regards to gods and deities, which I'll get into once the time comes. It's a slow progression because it's different from Hinduism. Hinduism is still practiced today. Is not practiced as much, not in the same way. So anyway, and so Ma, what I learned about Ma, I too had this adaptation of putting more emphasis on, put my shoes back on, it's a little rocky over here, more emphasis on just the Divine Father. And so in a way, I'll admit, I started to ignore her. Not really ignore her, I still have respect for her, I still have love for her, of course, but I just didn't treat her with the same amount of praise as I did with Pops, and I call him Pops, Lord Shiva, and the rest of them. And so I had to learn to let that go. It wasn't until I saw her in my dreams a few times, so that helped a lot too. But what really sparked it for me is I needed to move to Houston, Texas, where I am now. And I talked about this last week a little bit, but I had prayed to Lord, I did a mantra to Lord Ganesh, but it wasn't just to Lord Ganesh. It was also to Lakshmi Mata. Now, if you're unfamiliar with who Lakshmi Mata is, she is the goddess of wealth and knowledge and business and all that stuff. And so when I prayed to her, I got money within 2 days. So this was like instant gratification. However, I couldn't get to her without going through Ganesh, but that's going to be a whole other. I'm gonna do a whole series dedicated to Ganesh because he surprised me again. I did a mantra. I actually told you I was going to do it last week. It came to fruition so freaking fast. Wow, I'm going to do an entire series on Lord Ganesh. Sri Ganesh, y'all. That's all I can say right now. And so she helped me with that. Now, this is just the beginning. I started to connect to the mother a lot more. I actually started to understand her a little bit more. When I first started living in my car, I had to be outside all the time, almost. I mean, I could have stayed in my car and other places, but I didn't want to do that. And so instead, I spent time outside. And the more time I spent outside, the more I started to be cradled by the mother. And get this, before I even spent, so she's a healer. I said this last week and I forgot to mention, she is a divine healer. Okay? Ma will heal you faster than like anybody else in a way that you could have never imagined. So like about 2 years ago, I was all messed up, mentally, physically jacked up, right? And I was living in my car. My foot was messed up. And I had discovered some stuff about my family that was very tough to digest. And I had anyway, sorry, went back there. Anyway, I was a mess. And I had a minor breakdown. And I was like, what is it? I said I really needed some serious help. And so I looked up like, who is like the Hindu deity for healing. And the person that came up was Akhilandeshwari. I know y'all don't know who the hell that is. But Akhilandeshwari is a goddess whose name means never not broken. So, never not broken meaning you're always in a way in life. And this is one of the divine teachings of the mother. In life, we are never 100% perfect. She's never perfect. She's always falling apart. But these pieces are aspects of ourselves that we can take away and change. We can take bits and pieces of ourselves that we do not like, that are broken, that are hurt, that are in pain, whatever it may be. And we can give it a little love and heal from it. And we're always like this because we're always growing as people. Myself yesterday is better. No, myself today is better than myself yesterday. And myself in 5 years is going to be significantly better. No matter where our life goes, we're always getting better and we're always breaking apart and coming back together again. That's what she taught me, y'all. And so I did a mantra to her. It goes, it's actually longer than this, but I'm just giving y'all the quick rundown. Amba Parameshwari Akhilandeshwari. I want y'all to see this. I can't see it right now because I put my screen down really low. But yeah, you hear the cicadas? Amba Parameshwari Akhilandeshwari. There's a whole song to it, but I'm not about to sing the whole thing. Plus, I don't remember all the way off the top of my head. I only remember when I hear it. And I cried to that song. I heard her speak to me. And she said, it's okay, Ayana, you can cry. It's okay to not feel okay, Ayana. She gave me a level of humility and acceptance of my broken self. And that really touched me. I'm taking my shoes off again. My feet are filthy. My feet, y'all. I don't know. I can't even see them. And from that point on, I started healing from those horrendous traumas. The traumas of my mind. She really helped me. The mother is a divine healer. There are other healers in other religions as well. And look, I'm not too familiar with the rest of them. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. But think about even Isis. She carries some of those aspects. Goddess Isis, when Osiris was chopped up into pieces, she pieced them back together. She healed them, essentially, and gave him a new form of life. The mother can also be very fierce, but her fierceness can protect you. So now we're getting on to the next part, right? The divinity of the protector. When you think about a mother who has her children, if someone tries to attack her children, how is she going to react? A true loving mother, how is she going to react? Think about mothers in the wild. They will die for their children. They will fight for their children. This is the same aspect that Ma has. Ma Kali had that aspect. Ma Durga has that aspect of them. There's so many times when people, like, especially since, you know, I live in my car, they'll be like, oh, that's not safe. Oh, you need to be safe, be safe, be safe, be safe, be safe. And you know what I always tell them? I am safe. You know how I know I'm safe? Because I know my mother is taking care of me. I prayed to her on my way here. I took a solo trip here to Houston. And I asked her to protect me, to make sure everything was smooth. I had no problems. Y'all, I had not a single problem. And I was a single female traveling alone across, basically halfway across the country. Not basically, it actually was halfway across the country. And I have my mother to thank. Every day I'm protected. Every day I'm safe because of her. She will not let anyone hurt her children. And I think that's part of the reason why you see so much crimes against women today. So much crimes against women today. It's preposterous. So much that they even make popular memes about it. About they rather be with the bear than to be with the man in the woods, because the bear seems more safe. That's sad. And you know why? It's because we have lost track of respecting and honoring the divinity of the woman, of the divine mother. If you lived in a culture that truly understood how to respect the divinity of the woman and the divinity of the mother, you would not see so many crimes against women as we do today. You just wouldn't. But now we live in a world that predominantly gives glory, divinity to only the man, the father, the son, the prophets, the male prophets. All the men is men. And you know what's crazier? Many Christians don't even know about their own religion. What many people don't know is that Yahweh or Jehovah, whatever you want to call him, before Christianity or even before Judaism became a thing, he was a part of a pantheon of multiple gods, including female goddesses. Christianity in its origins is not a monotheistic religion. It's polytheistic. It's more polytheistic than Hinduism is. And so whatever happened along the way with the ancient Jews or whatever, they managed to remove the woman. The Catholics tried to keep it around. They still try to a little bit with the honoring of Mary. Because remember how I asked you this last week? Who would I be? Who would you be without your mother? Who would Jesus Christ be without his mother? He wouldn't be Jesus. he wouldn't even exist. He didn't just spontaneously combust out of thin air. He was created. Even when you think about what cans, remember how I said earlier, the aspects of our physical world, fire is the physical manifestation of the Father, right? But what gives fuel to the fire? What is the best fuel for fire? Things that come from the mother. The mother. I really want y'all to think about that. Okay, pause while y'all think about this. Look at this. These plants have taken over. And this is another representation of when we don't treat the mother right. There is no reason why these plants should be dominating like this. There should be more variety over here, and there's not. We as a society have lost the importance of protecting the divinity of the woman, the mother, the womb, the woman. Everything has become about the father, and you can see how the imbalance is wreaking havoc on our society and on our beautiful planet. People cut down trees with no care. They don't replace it. People have invasive species all over the damn place. Plastic polluting the oceans, the earth, dumping toxic chemicals. We dig through the mother to take out fuel that we shouldn't even touch, that's in the process of decomposing. And we pull it out of the earth because we have no respect for the mother, just basically her. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I might get flagged. I might have to take that part out. Basically taking advantage of her. And now we are suffering along with her. There needs to be more respect to the mother. Back to what I was saying about Christianity. The ancient Gnostics, which were some of the early Christians, okay, they believed that God had a wife named Asherah, I think that was her name, and that the Catholics took her out. I don't know why. They were getting closer to that monotheistic stuff, because this, remember I told y'all, this is part of Pantheon. But you can kind of see that Christianity has a background in polytheism, even if you read the scriptures, where God refers to themselves as us. When God said they created Adam and Eve in the image, in their image, it was a man and woman. And I argue this with Christians, and they kind of run mental gymnastics because they're not making any sense. Because if God is saying in our image and it's a man and a woman, what does that mean? Put your biases aside, put whatever your indoctrination aside, whatever you learn in church aside, and really think about that. Really think about that. So when I remember how I said last week, when you get outside, you connect to the divine knowledge of the woman, and she gives you divine knowledge. That is because another aspect of the mother is divinity, divine knowledge in the spiritual and non-physical things. So Ganesh is wonderful for physical knowledge. Anytime you need knowledge on how to get something in your physical life, he's good with that. But when it's something that is not physical, that is where the woman, the mother, comes in. I live in Houston, Texas. Hispanics are the most populous ethnicity here in Texas. That's very recent. So basically, they dominate. You will hear Spanish here almost more than you'll hear English. I'm not exaggerating. All my life, I wanted to learn Spanish. And so I asked Saraswati to help me learn Spanish. When I asked her that, fast forward to 2 years, my Spanish skyrocketed. Literally my entire life, I had struggled with learning Spanish. Could never do it. Never learned it. Never got through it. Took forever. It wasn't until I asked her. This is non-physical knowledge. It wasn't until I asked her to help me with it that it just went crazy. I asked her to help me get over my fear of speaking to people in Spanish, because that was the reason why I didn't learn it. And she wiped it away. When you need to focus, when you need ADHDers, this is for you. If you ever need focus in your life, ask Ma Saraswati. She helps you focus. She gives you non-physical knowledge. She makes things happen for you. I want to go back to Ma Kali, because I mentioned her as a protector earlier, because she is a protector. And there's a whole story on that. Ma Kali is not just a protector. She is also the facilitator of extreme spiritual growth that'll transform your life for the better. But you have to give something. You really don't have to give anything. It's more like you have to take a certain sacrifice. And you have to go through pain. Because think about it. There is no such thing as growth without some level of pain. Any religious story you look at, any spiritual experience people speak of, there's always a level of pain. I even speak about the ego death. The ego death, I spoke about this in the very beginning of a Yana Street Therapy course. The ego death will bring you a lot of pain. So much pain you think you would want to die. But the truth is, it's not you that you want to die. It's an aspect of yourself that wants to die. And you no longer want to claim that aspect. That's what's wanting to die. So, when I was about a month or so, 2 months ago, about 2 months ago, I was having a breakdown. I was feeling horrible, and I knew it was the ego death. There was parts of me, I wanted to die. I'll just say it like that. But this is not my first rodeo in my spiritual journey. So I knew it wasn't that I actually wanted to die, but it was painful. I knew my life had to change. I knew I wanted extreme change in my life. And so what did I do? I'm gonna turn back. I asked for help from Ganesh, because he always has my back. I said, please Ganesh, help me, blah, blah, blah. I'm going through so much pain. So I cried. And when you, like these deities, you can come to them in any mental state. You can come happy, you can have depressed. It doesn't matter. They will help you. They love you. They have unconditional love for you. Love that we as human beings have not learned. We have not. I've seen it. It's just not the same. And when you come to them with this level of depression and horror in your heart, they help you. And Ganesh helped me. And after I had prayed to him, because I didn't understand why I was suffering so much, why I was going through so much pain emotionally, and I understood a lot of the lessons, but I didn't understand why it came in this way. And so after I had prayed to him, I wanted to look him up, because I'm so fascinated with Ganesh. I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna do a whole video dedicated to all the main deities I pray to or whatever. But Ganesh is a big one. He's a big one. That might take a while. Anyway, the phone fell. I was looking at my phone. The phone fell on my hand. It clicked on the video. I was like, what the hell? Whatever. I accepted it. I clicked on the video. And in the video, it was the entirety of the video. I watched the entire thing. It was about 30 minutes long. But in the entire video, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna link it in the description. I will have to edit this because I gotta take that word out of there. In the entire video was talking about how when you call on Ma Kali, she will put you on a journey of spiritual growth and healing that is fast track. Like you will fit like 30 or more years of healing, of spiritual growth, of enlightenment, whatever, within a small period of time. For me, it's been like 2 years. Now that's just a summary. To understand the full thing, check out the video, but don't do it right now. Wait till the end. Okay? And it completely answered my question. From that day on, no more pain. I've been having nothing but up feelings, up happiness, up everything. Everything's been up. Because I understood that my mother was taking care of me. I asked for this. Before I even went through these 2 years of hardships and stuff, I had did a mantra. No, I didn't do a mantra. I sang to Ma Kali. I don't know. She was just calling me. She's been calling me all my life. But I sang to her. And I sang and I sang. And I was just like, oh, Ma, I just really love you, Ma. There was so much love in my heart for her. And it was that dedication to her. Plus, she knew it was in my heart. The desire to change. The desire for a new life. The desire for improvement. Which is why I moved to Houston in the first place. That she put me through all the experiences that I went through, and I learned so much. You know what people tell me all the time? Ayana, you're wise beyond your years. And I've been hearing this most of my life, literally almost all my life, actually, even as I was a kid. But I've been hearing it even more now, and that is because I have went through that spiritual journey that Ma blessed me with. Ma blessed me with this divine knowledge that I'm sharing. And I shared a bits and pieces. What good would it do if you had it all compounded all at once? You can't. Every video I make is a small bit and piece of the grand scheme of things, the grand truth, the grand knowledge, the grand awakening. And I hate using awakening sometimes. I don't really hate using the word, but like I feel like people abuse that word. But just coming to your true self, man. Understanding reality, understanding who you are, understanding what this all is about. So J-Ma, and I thank her for putting me through this. I learned the value of this beautiful planet that is a manifestation of her. I learned the value of human connection, of breaking barriers of religion, of language, of culture, of lifestyle, learning true unconditional love. She's also the goddess of love. Actually, so I didn't talk enough about the dream versions of Mother. So now we're at that section. And y'all, if you're new to this video, it's your first video of mine, I promise you my other videos are more structured. This one is specifically not structured because sometimes I realize there's like greatness in my banter, even though it's in between a bunch of pauses and stumbles of my words, whatever, it could be tangents. But if you just listen, the bigger picture comes together. But anyway, I will see her in my dreams many times. And she is the goddess of love. Many religions show Mother Ma as the goddess of love. And one of the things that she showed me was a book of love in my dream. So I had a dream where I was in a library, and in this library there was a lot of different people walking around, but I was specifically sitting, and mind you, this is not my first time seeing her, so I knew it was her. I was sitting next to her, and she was sitting on, like, she wasn't really sitting, I don't know what she was doing, she was kind of like laying, sitting, whatever it could be, on this pillowy looking thing. And in her hand she had a book. Actually, I did a painting based on that no one has seen because it's nowhere on the internet. I am an artist, by the way, y'all. I just don't want my artist side to be dominating right now. But anyway, and she handed me a book of love, and I read it. And ever since that dream, my whole perspective on love completely changed. Completely. Romantic love, non-romantic love, general love, love for everything. My love for everything deepened, even bugs, animals, inanimate objects. I give respect to it all because it's all her at the end of the day. It's all her creation. She's very creative. She is creation. Whenever I'm painting and doing art, I hear her. She loves art. She lavishes in it. She loves art. And I had just so much love and respect for Ma. I had seen her another time. I had seen her many times. In some ways, not so great. She could be fierce, y'all. Okay? Now let me say not so great. She's always great, but in ways that could be very intense. That's the best word to put it. I had seen her one time. This is one of her intense forms. I had a dream on some Martin Luther King shit. That I was in my car. And in my car, there was somebody in the driver's seat. I was in the passenger seat. And there was two men in the back. Everybody was a man. But the driver's seat man, he was a little bit mean, I guess. Ooh, I don't want to go down this path. Those plants dominate too much. He was a man, and he wasn't very nice to me. I think he was trying to use me and manipulate me. That's what I kind of remember very vaguely about how he was towards me. And so I didn't like that. And then I felt trapped a little bit, actually, in that dream. I remember feeling kind of trapped in that circumstance. And then, lo and behold, right on the window, I'm looking out the driver's side of the window, this little teeny woman who looks so adorable and cute, like a doll. Like, I don't know how to explain how she looked. I do know how to explain it, but y'all might not get it because y'all might not come from, like, you know those little figurines that the Hindus paint of, like, Ma Durga or whatever, or whoever it could be. She looked kind of like that, but different. But she was cute, and she had a very high-pitched, sweet voice. She sounded like how she sounds in my head. Very sweet. She has a very sweet voice. But she came with this intense energy. It was strong. I was like, I knew instantly who it was when I saw her. I was like, oh, it's Kali. Like, instantly. I didn't even have to think about it. And I was like, y'all, we have to go right now. I was talking to the people in the back, I guess. There was two men in the back. They were dark-skinned. That was weird. I don't even know fully who they represented. My dreams are interesting, y'all, but they mean something. And so she was singing, though. She was singing beautifully. It was such a gorgeous. She has a gorgeous voice. She's a beautiful singer. I've heard her multiple times. And she was singing to that man about how awful he's been, the one in the driver's seat, how awful he's been, how he's been bad, and blah, blah, blah. And she took that thing out the car and she started torturing it to its death. Like, and I was so terrified for him, actually. But I was just terrified to watch it as well. And so I ran away. She can be fierce, y'all. Listen, if y'all don't know about Ma Kali is known as the slayer of demons. She literally will kill demons. Okay? And this is why she's a grand protector. Because there is such a thing as demons. Okay? They exist. But they're not just going to prey on you. They're part of what is already in your energetic field. But if you ask her, she can remove them from you. She is, her and Hanuman, but we're talking about Ma right now. I feel like she's a little stronger with it too. She will remove all negativity, negative people, negative energies, negative entities from your life. She'll bless you with the ability to tell when you're having those people in your life. That's what she does. That's who Ma is. And so she killed him. And later on in that dream, I was telling people about the story. It was funny. Wow, I was actually successful. It's funny. I actually became successful. So when I woke up from that dream, it actually made me, actually this crazy, because now that was like months ago. I don't know how long, about 6 months maybe longer. And when she told me, when that dream happened, my whole life started to change. Like I started to learn more. I had a few ego breaks and I began getting to where I am now. But she was basically trying to untether me from whatever low vibrational entity was holding me back, because that's what she does. That's what she does. But when she's in that form, man, she's a little scary. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, but I love her regardless. I love her in that form. She's strong, she's powerful. Remember from earlier I said Shiva is nothing without the power of the mother. I've spoken about her a lot. I don't have much else to say. She also helped me realize how toxic my mother was. She acts, for me, I'm going down a path I didn't want to go again, I think. For me, she acts like the mother I've never had. She is the mother I've never had. She inspires me. Ooh, it stink over here. Something died. She inspires me. She's creative. She's kind, she's loving, but she's also intense and fierce, and she can be scary. She's a protector, she's a healer, she's a provider, she's a nurturer. She is knowledgeable, she's a genius. She's all of those things. I'm about to end this video soon. But I want y'all to really understand the importance and the power of making a connection with Ma. And even if you don't believe in all the Hindus, deities, or the other deities of other religions, you don't have to. All you have to do is go outside, put your feet, your bare feet, in some grass, in some sand, whatever, for hours. Touch a tree, hold a tree, look at some plants, talk to a tree if you want to, I don't know, hug a tree. That's all you have to do to connect to her. And she will slowly but surely begin to make a relationship with you. And you will not regret it. You will wish you did it sooner. Y'all let me know in the comments what you thought about this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you all next week for the next nature walk. Oh, and if you want to, I want to actually start doing these live. I've been trying to do it, but right now, my community, Ayana Street Therapy, they need some more people to make it popping. I have some wonderful, lovely members. But if you get in early, before I raise the price, because eventually I will raise the price. If you get in early, you'll get very, very exclusive access to a lot of wonderful knowledge from me. You get to pick my brain more and all of that stuff. So check that out. The link is in the description. All right, y'all. Peace.